This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flo's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flo's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flo retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
It's Thursday, September the 15th, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today Morning News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, the umbrella organization, which represents owners of privately run public service vehicles, has called on Minister of Transport and Works Michael Lashley to urgently intervene to avert possible protests by operators. This follows an incident which reportedly occurred in the River Van Terminal Tuesday. While warning that it was the final straw, Chairman of the Alliance Owners of Public Transport, Roy Raphael, reported that police were called in and that 3 drivers, who he noted were legitimately parked in the terminal, were ordered by transport inspectors to leave the area. Raphael said even though the operators who plied the Sugar Hill St. Joseph route had previously received permission in writing from the ministry to use the parking area, they were all kicked out of the area and sent to the headquarters of the Barbados Licensing Authority in the Pine St. Michael to undergo re-inspection after they failed to supply the necessary proof.
We would like to, for again, any industrial action or protest action, whatever action that may come out, the fact that whether we have not been meeting or there's no meeting set within the last 6 months by the Ministry or the Minister of Transport and Works. So therefore, I am calling on the Minister to use his good office to allow the meeting to be held or to be convened by the Deputy Permanent Secretary so that we can have the issues that relate to the same issue we have yesterday with the transport inspectors. I don't know if they were briefed or not, but we see it as total harassment. And I believe the time may have to come, us generally, to have to look at some kind of industrial action or action for people to understand that we're really serious. But that's the last thing on our minds right now. We are willing, we are prepared to meet.
More than 1 year after a 10% excise tax imposed on sweetened beverages took effect on August the 1st last year, Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair is reporting no noticeable change in the consumption habits of Barbadians. The controversial tax was first announced by Sinclair in his June 2015 budget and later implemented on August the 1st of that same year as one of the measures to be used by the government to get Barbadians to lower their calorie intake.
Sweetened beverages, that has been running just below trend in terms of the collections. We haven't seen a dramatic decline in the use of sweetened beverages yet, but it comes with time. We didn't expect that we would see that in the first year. It's going to take some time. But in terms of the actual tax collection, it has been running smoothly. We've not had major complaints, and the resources have been coming in.
Speaking on the sidelines of a tour of primary schools in his St. Michael Northwest constituency yesterday, where he was making back-to-school donations, Sinclair also updated reporters on the performance of another contentious measure, which was also announced in last year's budget presentation, that being a mobile airtime excise duty on cellular phones, which was initially to be imposed at a rate of 3 cents per minute, effective August the 1st that year. However, in November 2015, Sinclair told Parliament the plan was proving too difficult and expensive for the telecommunications companies to implement. He therefore went on to announce a 4.5% increase in the value-added tax, or VAT, levied on cell phone service, which took effect January 1st this year, raising the tax from 17.5% to 22%. Yesterday, Sinclair could not say exactly how much has been collected to date, but said the phone levy, which was expected to raise between $15 and $16 million, was going pretty well.
So far, it's been very, very close to the target, if not on top of the target. Of course, we're only through the first 9 months of the year, so we have to see how it runs for the rest of the calendar year, and then moving on from there at the end of the fiscal year next year. But so far, it's been doing well so far.
In sports now, West Indies Cricket Board Chief Executive Officer Michael Muirhead says there is no one specific reason for the termination of coach Phil Simmons' contract, nor was it a sudden development. In a nutshell, Muirhead said Simmons' vision did not align with the strategic approach of the WICB, and the divide widened over the past few months, reaching a point where a final decision had to be taken. Asked whether it was his appraisal that eventually led to the decision, Muirhead did not reveal much, only to the point that he hired him, so therefore he had to release him, but on the recommendation of the board. Meanwhile, West Indies cricketers now in the United Arab Emirates for their T20 and ODI series with Pakistan will play a warm-up match next Tuesday against the UAE's Cricket Board 11 in preparation for the first game against Pakistan. That's a T20 international 3 days later.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The latest disturbing video to go viral on social media in Trinidad is raising questions as to whether some of the brutal murders being committed in that country were being done simply for fun. The video shows 3 young men brandishing heavy weaponry and boasting of killing people.
Bad man kill people, no perplex them go Nelsa City, and a nation we go down.
With a murder toll already at 320, just 257 days into the year, many have been wondering why. For the level-minded among us, it may be hard to believe that pure bloodlust may be the answer.
Seriousness you're seeing here, we not no you're seeing that. Yeah. If a boy you just see head back, you know. No scene about it. See how he does this thing? Right now he wanna kill somebody. He wish he could see somebody to kill somebody right now. I don't know what's going on with this fella, but he thirsty too now. I was afraid to be around him.
And that's just a few seconds of the gut-turning video featuring 3 young males with Trini accents brandishing what appears to be a fully automatic machine gun. In the video, which lasts about a minute 20 seconds, they casually discuss killing people, making reference to how gangster they are. We reached out to Public Information Officer for the TTPS, Michael Pear, who assured us that the matter will be referred to the Cybercrime Unit.
In more regional news, the Jamaica government is getting help from the United Nations Agency to implement the recommendations of the report from the Sir David Simmons Commission of Inquiry, which investigated the Tivoli Gardens security operation back in 2010. United Nations Development Program Resident Representative Bruno Puzak has offered to help the Ministry of Justice, which told Puzak there was an immediate need to establish 2 restorative justice centers in Tivoli Gardens and Denham Town. Puzak said the UN was prepared to provide assistance with coordinating the implementation of interventions in a cohesive manner. And on the international scene, a young Kenyan man who followed 3 young girls from a funeral to a church and locked them inside to sexually abuse them was sentenced to 100 years in jail yesterday. Harrison Kinua, aged 20, was handed the sentence by a court in the central town of Embu after pleading guilty to defiling 2 13-year-olds and a 10-year-old in a church in the village of Kangaroo in December. The court heard he had locked the girls inside the church as they returned chairs that had been borrowed for a funeral. He was with the girls at the funeral and followed them to the church. After molesting them, he bought them chips in exchange for their silence, but they told their parents what had happened. That's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.